designed it and paid for it and innovated it and made it what it is today. Now the infrastructure is built, but the kernel is DARPA, military-industrial complex designed. That's the joke, www. Not World Wide Web, worldwide wiretap. But it is a web of control and surveillance. But going back to the 60s and then the 70s when they started calling it World Wide Web, it was an inside joke. This is in the mainline history of the Internet, that it's the worldwide wiretap. So it's a double-edged sword. It can be used by the people to empower, enlighten, inform. It can be used to search information greater than all the libraries in history put together. And the system has allowed it to grow until it's ubiquitous and wired into everything and absolutely essential for our society, our industry, our culture. Now that we are wedded to it at the hip, like Siamese twins, now they are going to remove one edge of the sword, and they're already blunting it, and expand the other side, which is it being a one-way conduit for establishment, prostitute, government, Federal Reserve, financed. We learned about that in the last few months. I told you about it years ago, but now it's declassified. That billions of dollars to mainstream media, newspapers, MSNBC, CNN, CIA, Black Ops, WorldNet Daily had that 13 years ago, running CNN, just total control. Okay? And the military itself and the PSYOPs works for Wall Street, themselves working for the big offshore banks that own Wall Street, and that came out 2 months ago in the Bloomberg documents and others when they sued and got it, that almost all the money went offshore to foreign banks and the domestic money went to media to hold you down, keep you dumb. But they're losing. And so the Internet is not going to be killed. It's going to be changed, and it's going to become mainly a one-way system. And this has already been announced. And I told you they would roll it out first for hurricanes and disasters. Oh, we're going to break in and take over your cell phone. Oh, we're going to break in, and Obama has a kill switch where only government messages will go over the web during a anthrax or smallpox attack or during a nuclear attack. But see, they'll be the ones that engage in the attack to then set the precedent for this. And so what's happening is not a takeover of just the web. It is a total takeover of the entire infrastructure of media. Now, they already had EAS since the 50s, but in 96, hardwired into all UHF, VHFs, cable, AM, FM, high def now, all telecommunications hubs, all systems, entire floors, NSA run, everything wired through it, snooping on all of it. Again, I told you this 16 years ago. It's all in the documents. 3 years ago, the AT&T exec in San Francisco went public. They whitewashed it, but it was exactly as we told you because the blueprint to fund it and legalize it was all there. I told you they're listening to all your phones in live time with NSA computers. I told you they're tracking you down to just a few feet with triangulation. Guys, you kill my phone. I had the ringer on accident. Thank you. My little personal slave data tracker system. Okay, my slave data tracker control system is following me over there. We need to turn that off. Now, my little guardian devil. So they put these systems out for everybody. They roll them out to the entire population. And once they're in place, then they begin the incremental takeover. Now notice, Federal News Radio and press releases that came out months ago said the president's going to start breaking in on AM, FM, radio, TV, your cell phones. You won't have a choice. There'll be text messages, or if your phone is enabled, it will pop up while you're making a phone call. Cut the call off, and there will be the president or the head of Homeland Security, and the locals are going to love this, or your local threat fusion. It'll be your police chief. But he'll be there at a federal center under federal control. They can already track you in live time, listen to you, with the local announcements. So, and we told you this, again, over a decade ago, the Amber Alert, oh, it's for children kidnapped. Now you see the big Amber Alert signs, report illegal guns, report terror, spy on your neighbors. The total Stasi society is here. And you notice they already started setting all this up right before the new bin Laden capture, right as they launched the new terror alert system. It's a whole new rollout. We'll break it down. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. The earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear disaster that killed thousands of Japanese citizens is nothing compared to the devastation that could be caused by hyperinflation that will soon hit the United States and could lead to millions of Americans becoming homeless, all caused by the devalued U.S. dollar. While the mainstream media continues to ignore inflation, our friends at the National Inflation Association provide a free weekly newsletter that educates Americans to the facts and truth about the U.S. economy and inflation. I urge you to sign up at the NIA's free newsletter at www.inflation.us to learn how you can not only survive, but prosper during the upcoming hyperinflation crisis. Silver has more than doubled since the NIA declared silver the best investment for the next decade on inflation.us. The NIA's team of expert economists are happy to answer any economic questions you have about inflation, debt, currencies, real estate, precious metals, and commodities. Visit inflation.us to learn the economic truth that the mainstream media ignores.
Imagine being free of debt in just 12 weeks without payment plans or negotiating or hiring an attorney. 18 years ago, we cracked the code of debt collections and set tens of thousands of people free of their debts. It's called Zero Debt Guaranteed, and it works for all debts.
My wages were being garnished, so I used the program and the attorney dropped the case and he returned my money within 2 weeks.
With Zero Debt Guaranteed, your success is guaranteed in writing. There is no other program of its kind. Don't be alone when creditors gang up on you. Call our help desk for lightning-fast assistance. Let our team of experts provide the resources to fight back, stop collection calls, prevent and stop wage garnishments and bank levies. Call Zero Debt Guaranteed now, 800-477-9256, and ask for free information from an expert who also completed our program, 800-477-9256, or ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com. ZeroDebtGuaranteed.com.
Iodine protection packs from hempusa.org are now in stock for immediate delivery worldwide. Our iodine protection packs include microplant powder, green life kelp, red palm oil, and our clear roll-on iodine that will feed the body the iodine it needs. All iodine protection packs are in stock, save you money, and ship for free in all 50 states. Visit hempusa.org or call 908-691-2608 today.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it led back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a silver dollar in a book explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Food prices are spiraling out of control. In order to survive, you will soon need to produce some or all of your own food in your backyard or small farm. Many years ago, sought-after radio guest Marjorie Wildcraft and her family began working to find the easiest ways to grow food for the crisis we are now facing. Marjorie created a video that is the fastest way to learn how to grow food. You'll learn the most efficient gardening methods, myths and truths of orchards and edible landscaping, effective predator protection, and even home butchering. Everyone is talking about Marjorie's DVD, and it's highly recommended by Jim Rawls, Jack Spurko, and Bountiful Gardens. Read her free reports on how to have a green thumb, making free fertilizer, and answers the question, do you need a gun to garden? If you want the security, savings, and freedom of food self-reliance, buy Marjorie's DVD and get the free reports at backyardfoodproduction.com. Again, that's backyardfoodproduction.com.
Okay, let me just calmly break down the basics, then I'll go into the detail. Deceptively and illegally, the federal government has been spying on all communications without warrants for 50 years or more. But they could only do it selectively because they didn't have the computing power or the personnel to physically listen to everyone. With the advent of keyword software and computers 30 years ago or so, with the Echelon system declassified in the 90s, they could then begin listening to millions of people simultaneously. Now, many Americans have computers listening 24 hours a day. Computers dial in on your laptop, your cell phone, which is a computer, and listen to you. The cameras are admittedly accessed going back 6 years ago by Google, with computers watching you and recording and getting keywords. AI systems that can recognize faces, you name it. How do we know that? Press release by Google 6 years ago. This is all hidden in plain view beyond 1984. And the architecture of it is not designed or built to fight terrorists. Then you research who the terrorists are. All the famous ones, Osama bin Laden, CIA, hanging out at bases, families working for British, Israeli intelligence on record, protected, U.S. embassies ordered to let them get into the U.S., on and on and on. People say, well, something this big, it would come out. We've had the heads of the embassies, the heads of the military bases, like Colonel Stephen Butler at the Monterey Defense Language School, came out a month after 9/11 and said, these guys trained at my base. Out of all of them, this was staged by the government. They started a court-martial of him until he agreed to shut up. I think he should have gone ahead with it. I called him. I talked to him, and somebody was screaming in the background, and he hung up on me back at the time. I'd like to get Butler on. I mean, he's like, Muhammad Atta was at the school. I mean, it's on record, ladies and gentlemen. You're like, well, then they work for us, but they got on planes and flew them into buildings. We don't know exactly what happened, but why isn't it being investigated? Look, I'm already digressing. The issue here is it's very elementary. They stage the attacks. They have the patsies internationally to invade whoever they want, but domestically to clamp down on us. And the military-industrial complex then has made trillions of dollars the last 10 years just domestically. In the process of taking over our society, they get all the domestic no-bid contracts. They build the federal spy centers that federalize your police. They openly have the military out running checkpoints under TSA training. All of this was already going on. And they're just now announcing, oh, we want you to have to run your driver's license through to get a train ticket. We're going to search you at all the DART trains and all the subways and Amtraks. That's already being done. We're going to randomly shut down highways. It's all been announced. They're doing it. Regular Marines, Army. Governor of Tennessee says no. They say, we don't care. John Warner Defense Authorization Act. They cited the John Warner Defense Authorization Act. Go read it. 2007. The Defense Department's mission domestically under NORTHCOM says we will sweep governors aside. We will take over states if they don't do what the feds say. And then Obama creates what Bush started, the 10 governors. So they can say, well, we have governors, we have states' rights. The president chooses governors that speak for the 50 states. I mean, we're already under federal martial law. This is just the rollout of it. And now they're announcing, 9,000 locations. Town squares, every Walmart, Mall of America, 9,000 locations, big jumbotrons and little screens as well at the checkout. And we've seen the videos that they're playing on them. TSA's there to keep you safe. We'll soon be in malls and sports stadiums. Please report to us anything you see. And it shows videos at Walmart of TSA walking around. First, they show you video of it to acclimate you as they build the force. And it's a force to line up. We're sticking our hands down your pants. Now, Schumer comes out and says we need no ride now, not just no fly. Over 2 million Americans now on the no fly, including 1-year-old babies, 5, 6-year-olds. It's all on record. And they just say, sorry, you can't fly. Congressman on it. And now it came out 2 years ago. Paul Watson wrote about this yesterday. Kurt Nimmo today at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. They admit that, anti-war people aren't allowed to fly. Second Amendment demonstrators aren't allowed to fly. People that have been critical of the Federal Reserve, they just meanly put you on an extrajudicial list that nobody can get off of. We're going to cover that when we come back. And I told you, I saw Governor Ridge almost 9 years ago say, you're going to have TSA government approval to have a job. You heard 2 weeks ago about the 9/11 first responders have to go through a terror database to get their health care. You see, it's for Americans to literally wipe your nose, to buy food, to have a job, to travel, for your car to start.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
When you're out on the road,
The last place you want to be is on the road. But if the